Revolution now. Today I want to talk about Taylor Swift's new album, Folklore. Okay, I initially really did not want to make a video on this album at all because I frankly do not give a crap about this album or Taylor Swift's music or whatever, but I'm just seeing so many music critics, even well-respected music critics that are supposed to be these steadfast indie critics like Pitchfork.com and Anthony Fantano. It seems like a lot of music critics are giving this album positive reviews, and it's getting to the point where it's kind of driving me nuts, so I feel like I need to speak out and say something because this is actually kind of a catastrophic thing to witness, okay? So let me explain. So at face value, there are some things that are kind of, technically good about this album. Like Taylor Swift's voice, okay? Taylor Swift has been singing her whole life. Of course, she's gonna have a good voice. That is something that is technically good about this album. Another thing that's technically good about this album is the production, okay? The production better be fucking good because she paid a ton of money to a lot of people to make sure the production on this album is gonna sound good, okay? So the production is another thing that is technically good about this album, okay? But analyzing this album as a serious piece of art, this album is so fucking bland. This album is a test. This album was a test to see if there's any authenticity left in the world of indie music, in the world of taking indie music seriously as an art, okay? And the indie community failed drastically, okay? Because what this album is fundamentally a purchase by Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift said, you know what, I'm feeling pretty good about all the albums and songs I've sold, being one of the most popular pop artists of all time. You know what I want next? I think I want to be respected by music critics and I want to be seen as a legitimate artist, so I'm going to go ahead and buy my way into doing that. So I'm going to sit down with my marketing team and we're going to say, hey everyone, I want to make an indie album. So when I die, my legacy is that I'm actually a talented artist and not just a pop star. And the marketing team said, okay, let's go ahead and do that for her. Let's go ahead and put that together. Let's go ahead and reach out to all these different people. We're going to reach out to the people from the National to help compose these songs because they know how to compose indie songs. We're going to reach out to Bon Iver because isn't Bon Iver some indie guy? We should probably get him featured on the album. We should get all these different producers that know how to produce the album a little bit quietly, okay? We should put freaking Taylor Swift on an album cover that's black and white in the woods because woods are kind of indie, right? And she'll have clothes that are too big that don't fit her right because that's what hipsters do, right? And maybe we'll even have a song called Cardigan on there because don't hipsters wear cardigans? And that sounds like something that people who want to be fed all the cliches of indie music would like, right? Let's do that, okay? And together, they worked together to fulfill Taylor's purchase, okay? Taylor made an investment. She put her money in this album as an investment, and the sad thing is it worked, okay? When I hear this album, I hear extremely bland pop music with a little bit of indie cliches as decorations to try to disguise the fact that she's not a real artist, okay? And she's just making a purchase here. She's literally putting a commodity together, but somehow these fucking idiots in indie music fell for it and were like, oh, Taylor Swift is actually, she made a freaking this is not fucking indie folk shit. Sorry about that, I lost my temper. I was just saying that there's really nothing indie about this album at all. Okay, it sounds like an album that could have been made by like 3 or 4 people. Okay, they got the electronic drums and some, pretty cool chamber pop arrangements here and Taylor Swift singing. It sounds like I said, like a band of 3 or 4 people could have made this, but if you look at the credits, it goes on and on and on and on and on and on of all these people Taylor Swift paid to put this album together for her because she frankly has no clue about anything indie whatsoever, no clue about how to make an artsy album that's critically acclaimed. She doesn't know shit. She just knows she can buy her way to doing that, and she succeeded. So we officially live in a society where you can buy indie credit and you can buy artistic, critically acclaimed music, okay? There's nothing artistic about that, and there's nothing indie about that. That is a catastrophic end result. Okay? And the music is really bland. Even if it wasn't Taylor Swift that made it, I still wouldn't really like it at all because it's just so generic and full of cliches. But, you know what we need? We need a punk revolution because this is a catastrophic